Today, we're going to look at the Panasonic Leica 100-400mm f4 to f6.3 lens for your Micro Four Thirds system. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Phil with Photo Gear Fun here today with your review of the Panasonic Leica 100-400mm lens for your Micro Four Thirds system. It is an f4 to f6.3 lens. It's got variable aperture, which means the further in you zoom, the higher that aperture number gets. So at 400 millimeters, you're at f6.3. It's got power image stabilization, or power iOS, they call it. There are switches for that. It's a 200 to 800 millimeter equivalent on a 35 millimeter camera. So the crop for Micro Four Thirds is 2 times. It goes from f4 to f22. There's a focus limiter, which will help you get focus. If you don't need the full range of focus, it will focus faster if you limit it. The minimum focus distance is 4.27 feet or 1.3 meters. It uses a 72 millimeter filter thread. It weighs 2.17 pounds or 985 grams. It's got this unique hood that comes with it too. It's a fairly deep hood, but the hood can actually be extended. So you can see here, you can screw it on and then move it in and out to make it, in essence, longer or shorter, which I think was a really nice feature. It's a solid metal build, got nice markings, very easy to use lens. Again, at 2.7 pounds for that focal range, it's really, really light. So I am using this on the G9 instead of my D7500 with a Sigma 150-600, which is a great setup, but it's really, really heavy. This is probably about 3 to 4 pounds lighter. So now that you've seen a little bit about the lens, I'm going to take you into the digital darkroom. We'll look at some photos that I took with this, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up this review of the Panasonic Leica 100-400mm lens for Micro Four Thirds. Here we are in the digital darkroom. I just wanted to show you some of the shots that we get. I'm going to show you the straight out of the camera shots, and then I'm going to show you shots that I edited just to see how you can edit them and make them look. So this is a straight out of the camera shot, a warbler here. You can see the bokeh in the background. Looks pretty pleasing. Looking at the bird itself, the focus, you can see the detail and the feathers. These are all taken on the Panasonic G9, which is the camera that I used for this. You can see the settings here in the top corner, ISO 400, 400 millimeters, f6.3, and pay attention to the shutter speed. So we're shooting at 400 millimeters. The shutter speed is 1/160th of a second. So that image stabilization on the lens combined with the G9 gives you amazing. Normally you would want your shutter speed to be basically the same as your focal length, or in this case, since in Micro Four Thirds, it's a 2 times crop, so 1/800th of a second would produce a sharp shot, and we're at 1/160th of a second. So image stabilization, really, really nice on this one. So that's straight out of the camera, no edits done, and here is the same photo edited. You can see I've added some contrast, done some things like that, but you can still see I added a little bit of noise reduction, and you can see again the details and the feathers, looking at the eyes. Really, I like the colors, the clarity. It's just been a great lens to take some pictures with. I'll show you one here. This is a cardinal just kind of chilling on my fence. Again, this is straight out of the camera, no edits done. Looking at the sharpness, it's amazing. Again, they're all pretty much taken around the same settings. They're all ISO 400, f6.3, and then the shutter speed varies a little bit. This is 1/200th, but still below what you would traditionally, if you're following the reciprocal rule, well below what you would have it set to. And then this is the edited version. So again, zooming in, you can see really great detail, great color, great contrast. Just a really nice lens. This is a tufted tip mouse. Again, this one was taken at ISO 400, 1/160th. He's having a little peanut there. And then this is the edited version. So again, you can see the bokeh, you can see the color qualities. It all looks pretty good. This is a purple finch, I believe. Out of the camera again, you can see there's no crop applied. And I like to crop my bird shots square, primarily because I like to share them on Instagram. But I also think square works, at least it does for me. So this is another edited version. I didn't really apply a lot of noise reduction. You can see at ISO 400 on that G9, there's some noise in there, but my old system I used to use, I still have it at Nikon D7500 with the Sigma 150-600. At ISO 400, you're still getting some noise as well, maybe not as much. But that was my fear when switching over to Micro Four Thirds, that it wouldn't be good enough, it wouldn't be high enough quality. But this camera and this lens have definitely shattered that perception. There is a nuthatch, a little snack over there. Again, this is unedited. You can see this is wide open, if you will, at 6.3, and maybe that's a little bit of chromatic aberration, possibly, but that can be fixed very easily, and it's in the bokeh. And in the edited version, you can see that that doesn't even come into play. But again, just the colors, the textures, the contrast, just really, really nice. Here is a woodpecker, downy woodpecker, out of camera, and then another picture of it, but an edited version. So I like the bokeh here. There's some greenery and some leaves in the background. I just like the way it renders the bokeh. It looks pretty smooth to me. And I'll show you one more. This is kind of a high contrast situation again, and I don't know if that's fringing. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It doesn't to me, it doesn't look too distracting, but just so you know, in high contrast, these edges might be just a little bit off. And again, if that's chromatic aberrations, you can fix it very easily in Lightroom. So those are the pictures we took. We're going to go back into the studio and wrap this up, this review of the Panasonic Leica 100-400mm f4 to f6.3. Well, those were the pictures. What can I say about this lens? It's super sharp. It's got a great focal range, again, 200-800mm equivalent. It's light compared to other lenses. It's got that nice unique hood. It's built solid. Even though it's solid, it's still light and easy to handle. It's got the switches that you can use for your focus limiter, also to change from manual to autofocus, and to turn the iOS or OIS on or off. Those are kind of the pros. The one con that I did find is that it's expensive compared to other lenses. That Sigma 150-600 that I talked about, I think, is around $1,000. This one's going for $1,500 right now, so it is on the expensive end, but you're gaining that solid build quality and also the fact that it's light and portable. On the G9, it's really easy to handle for long periods of time compared to the D7500, that's the Sigma 150-600 combo that I had. It does make a big difference when you're hand holding, and also if you're kind of going to be backpacking around with that system. So you definitely get a lighter system. Hope you enjoyed this review of the Panasonic 100-400mm lens. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, click on that bell icon, and that will allow you to be notified when we go live or post a new video. Get out there and have your photo gear fun. I will talk at you again in the next video.